You can get admission into a PhD program with just your bachelor's degree. I see them actively pursuing opportunities, and a lot of them got it even with a second class lower. This isn't unusual for students to move to a new school in the middle of that program because at the end of the day, funding plays a huge role. And I stumbled across another strategy, which was to code mail the graduate coordinator of each programs of the program of interest. Expect the unexpected with graduate school.
Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we
Uh,
have a special guest with us. We have Emmanuel, and he's going to be joining us and sharing his experience of I got to the US. I have been navigating the educational setting in the US. So, can you please introduce yourself, name,
okay.
your country of origin, the program you're doing in the US?
Okay, so hi everyone. Hi Winnie. So my name is Emmanuel Oyewole. I'm an international student here in the US from Ekiti State, Nigeria. So I'm currently in the fourth year of my PhD program in toxicology at Colorado State University. So I moved to the US in the spring of 2023, and so I'm here to pursue a doctorate. My work focuses on environmental and occupational health, toxic exposure, as well as immune responses in the lungs. So before coming to the US, I earned both my bachelor's and master's degree
Oh,
in biology and applied parasitology, respectively, from the prestigious Federal University of Technology, Nigeria, in Akure. So basically, I've always been interested in how science can be used to protect community and also improve public health, especially among vulnerable population. So my journey hasn't just been academic, so I've had to adjust to the new culture here, to navigate different immigration processes, finding purpose, growing personally as well as professionally. So yeah, today I'm excited to share my experience as an international student, what the process looks like, what challenges people often face, and things that people don't often talk about as well, or some lessons I've learned along the way, and just generally how my story can, encourage, guide someone who is considering like a similar path.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be focusing more on finding purpose.
Okay.
Because I want to know more about what you mean by finding purpose.
Well,
So
yeah,
you were first in Colorado State University,
yeah,
and now you're in another institution.
yeah.
So how did that happen? And what institution are you right now? Because you are still wearing the Colorado State t-shirt.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so you are correct. I started out at Colorado State University, and I'm currently at the University of Nebraska Medical Center. So, and that was because my current PI got another appointment here at UNMC. So, because my research is tied to her funding, so I had to come over with her to continue my research. So why I'm still wearing a Colorado State shirt is because I'm technically still a Colorado State university student. So I'll be going back to CSU to graduate and to take my final defense. So let me just quickly add that this isn't unusual for students to move to a new school in the middle of that program because I have a couple of friends too that are to move with their professors to a new school because of new appointments. So just an encouragement to be on the lookout and to expect the unexpected with graduate school because at the end of the day, funding plays a huge role. And if your department is not able to support you anymore and your PI is willing to still fund your project, then definitely you have to make that decision to live with her. So that was basically what happened to me. And so I'm going to be here for the next couple of years to complete my research. Then after that, I'll be going back to my school to graduate.
Oh, thank you so much. I like the way you shared, like it's not something that is strange. So most people will
Yeah,
wonder why is someone in two schools at the same time. So thank you for the explanation. Then
yeah,
um you said you have a a master's degree from Nigeria. Do you
Yes,
think like that master degree played a role in getting a PhD program? Or can someone without a master's degree get a straight PhD program with their undergraduate, with a bachelor's degree?
yes, that's a very, 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 very great question. Absolutely. So, definitely having a master's degree can definitely like strengthen your chances of getting into a PhD program. Like because a master's degree helps you to build this research experience. It helps refine your interest basically, and it also helps to show the admissions committee that you can handle advanced academic work and environment. So for many people like myself, it's a great stepping stone. Especially if you want to be more confident about research or your research direction before heading to PhD. So it's you build a lot of soft skills that will be required for survival later in the PhD program. That being said, it's not the only route. So a lot of schools here in the United States allow students to enter directly into their PhD program from bachelor's. That is, you can enter or you can get admission into a PhD program with just your bachelor's degree. And in some cases too, like most of the masters are actually built in those PhD program. That is, they call it a joint master's PhD or en route or masters. So you earn your master's degree along the way while progressing towards your doctorate degree. So yeah, so there are different options. But personally, I like to advise people, if possible, like you can have a master's degree. It helps you on the long run. But yeah, that's not the only option. Definitely, you can also get into the program with just a bachelor's. Yeah.
Oh. Then, how did you get information about studying in the US? Why
Uh,
not Canada, the Europe? How did you get this information about? Because I have lots of questions to ask you. So how did you
yeah.
get this information?
So that's a very great question. For me, I think I've always been very passionate about research and during my master's, especially, I always wanted to explore environment with high intensive research. That is environment that usually like commit to like standard high quality or high level of research actually. So so US was always on that top of the list for me because I mean arguably US is like the one of the best countries when it comes to research and because of the funding opportunities and scholarship opportunities that usually come with research opportunities out here. So it made it uh a priority for me. Like US was like at the top of the list for me. Then other countries. I mean, I explored Canada a little bit, but it wasn't to the degree that I explored like US because I think US also has one of the like they have like I think it's one of the country with the most universities basically. So I'm not yeah, don't quote me on that. So I'm not exactly sure, but I think they are one of the countries with the most university in the world, and most of those universities come with funding for their students. So now how did I get information about US? So back in college, like doing my master's degree back in Nigeria, our seniors back then, when I see them actively pursuing opportunities, and a lot of them got it even with a second class, lower, some with second class up as well. So it made me realize that it doesn't necessarily, your grade doesn't really or your GPA doesn't really um, tell the whole story sometimes, that you could also, there are other avenues to also sell yourself to the admission committee for admission. So during my master's, I was very determined that I was going to pursue a PhD in the US because I saw a lot of my seniors getting into the program. So yeah, so with determination, with God's grace, I'm currently living the dream now. And so also one thing to add that is that YouTube videos like this as well really help during that process. Like because I'll actively go to YouTube, look for videos on scholarships. So I saw a lot of mentors on there that helped me with the whole process. Also, I met with some scholars on Twitter as well that I connected with so privately. So they were very good resource for me. Like they were very good resources for me to gain admission here in the US. Yeah.
Okay. Currently, you're funded.
Yeah.
How did you get like this funding? How did you even pick Colorado State University? How did you e- email the professor? What happened? How did this funding come? Did it come with your admission or you took extra steps to get it?
Okay. Yeah, that's a very good question. So during the process of looking for admissions or looking for scholarship opportunities and looking for schools, so I started cold mailing professors. I started cold mailing professors. I think I started with cold mailing professors initially, but when I realized at the point that a lot of them weren't responding back, and those that responded were those without funding or maybe those very close to retirement. Uh, so then I think I was going online and I stumbled across another strategy, which was to code mail the graduate coordinator of each programs of the program of interest rather. So I reached out to the graduate coordinator of my current program. Her name is Dr. Olivia Hanaud. So I code mailed her and she responded. And I think so one thing to note is that most of the graduate coordinators they are obligated to respond to anyone seeking admission. So most of the graduate coordinators I reached out to responded almost instantly. So that was why I stuck with that strategy. So I was reaching out to graduate coordinators. And the good thing about graduate coordinators is that they have uh, an idea of what professors in the program has funding, what professors are currently uh, taking in students. So they are very good resource for information on scholarship and for like anything generally about the graduate program. So when I reached out to her, she linked me. I think she told me that just a few members of the department had funding. So she linked me with my current PI.
Oh,
Yeah, she sent her details to me. So I reached out to her, and she set up a Zoom meeting with me, and we had an interview. I think a couple of weeks after, and she saw me as a good fit for her lab, and that's where I'm currently. I mean, that's who I'm currently working with now. So
yeah.
yeah, that's,
I never knew of the strategy of like, though I
yeah,
know that graduate coordinator give information, but if someone should ask me before you share this experience, I'll
yeah,
be like, just email the professors. And
yeah,
truly, graduate coordinator can match people together.
definitely. So yeah, like I said, they have insight into this the funding conditions of funding situation in each in their department. So they are like and they're almost like I mean unlike the professors or like the PIs that usually have very busy schedules, a lot of the graduate coordinators they don't have as much busy schedule as the PI, so they are able to check their mails consistently and to respond like earnestly to. So yeah, so that's why, and even if like even sometimes when they don't currently have funding, they can tell you to check back at some certain time, like some certain maybe um, time in the year for like that maybe like some of the professors are expecting funding. So that way, when you check back, you could also you can also reach out back to them and to see if those fundings are now available. So yeah, it's also like a way of creating rapport with
Yeah.
coordinators because when I got here they were the person, my grad coordinator was the first person I met. Even though my PI was the person that got me to the lab, my grad coordinator was the first person I met, and we chatted. We just like caught up on a lot of things. So, and she also like introduced me to so many also like helpful resources for international students online, and she just connected me basically. So it was a very easy transition process for me because of my graduate student um coordinator. So
Oh,
yeah,
That's a good experience. Did you
Yeah.
have to take like any standardized exam, like GRE, TOEFL? Was it a
Okay.
requirement for you?
So when I started my application process, when I started like looking for scholarships, so it was actually at the back of my mind. I was actually planning to write those exams. Like I think I got the materials ready. I was already going through like those possible questions. I was already practicing them. But alongside, I wasn't just like practicing them. I was also taking additional steps. Like I was cold mailing professors during that period. I was actively searching for schools that didn't require the international exams for admission. Although those schools are usually more competitive, but I was just like doing the two alongside. And no, thankfully and fortunately for me, I didn't have to eventually write the exams because so I got the offer from my
It's,
company. Yeah.
oh,
So yeah, just an advice for students out there to be very proactive because I mean there's no one shoe fits all. There are different ways that you can get admission. So don't be so rigid, very flexible. Also, another thing to note is that I have a research interest in mind. Like I have like um or I have like a list of research interest in mind. So if you don't get for your first choice, you can maybe get a second and third choice. So
mm.
don't box yourself into like a specific field. So try to like expand and think outside the box, basically. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Then writing journal papers. I know you shared like your uh past seniors that had like low GPA and were able to get full funding in the US. Do you
Yeah.
think writing journal papers is like would you must suppose like you must have journal paper before someone can fund you in the US? Do you think that is true? Or did you have journal papers before even applying for grad school?
So yeah, that's a really, really good question. But that's necessarily not true. I mean, one thing about graduate school application is that you always want to put your best foot forward. Like you want to make yourself as competitive as possible because there are thousands other graduate students also looking for, or potential graduate students are also looking for the same opportunities as you. So you have to make sure that your profile is on point. So for me, I I I had two publications before coming to the US for my master's thesis, and I would say it's kind of boosted my chances a little bit because they were really good papers. And so I think that also, I mean, so that's also like speaks to your level of research experience and how much you could also like think through research questions and also just articulate it in written form. So those are some of the soft skills that a lot of professors here like to look out for. So that's why, that's not why I was saying initially that if even if you don't have like written international exam to submit. So things like that kind of help you. There are also other aspects or there are other skills you've acquired over the years that you could leverage on. It could also be your job experience. Like if you say work in a certain company that is currently tied to your say your degree, you can easily like leverage on that, identify skill set you've gained over the year, and just sell yourself or push yourself forward. So to answer your question, journals are not necessary, but it gives you a competitive edge when applying to graduate programs.
Okay, because I've not written like any journal paper before getting full funding in the US.
Yeah, I
In fact,
think
the first paper I wrote was in the US. So,
yeah,
and I was able to get full funding without that. So I don't
yeah,
want like someone to be discouraged, like, oh, I don't have nothing. I
yeah.
really
Like I
did not
said,
have
yeah,
any paper.
yeah,
When I came to the US, I started like building
yeah,
my CV or my resume. So,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of friends here that even till now, in their third year and the third year of their PhD program, they still don't have a paper to their name. So that's not the only criteria. Like there are other things you can do to strengthen your profile. So it's not a do or die affair. Yeah.
Okay. When someone say they got full funding or they have full funding, what does this cover? What does this mean?
Okay. So full funding typically covers um, tuition. That is the cost of studying in the US. Or the cost of taking classes and the um, in the spring, the fall, or the summer, or whatever time of the year. So that it covers all the tuition. Then it covers stipend as well, which is basically because for international students we are allowed to work 20 hours uh, while taking classes. So it covers stipends for daily upkeeps. It also covers health insurance. So there are some scholarship that covers up to 80%. So I don't know if there are scholarship out there that covers up to 100% health insurance, but I think depending on like your program and depending on how much you can negotiate to, you once you get the admission, once you get the admission and once you are given assistantship, they will send you like the total or the list of things that that funding actually covers. So for full funding, so the main things covers tuition, stipend, I think health insurance. So I've met some other people that get additional benefits too
Oh,
from their full funding. And I think other benefits can include like gym membership, like some I think those are like the basic things. So other things that can be added alongside. Yeah.
yeah. Do you think like it's realistic to survive the US as an international student without funding?
Yeah.
Like you're just doing like the basic $15, $16 per hour in the US. Are you able to like pay your tuition, your fees? What's your own opinion about this?
Is it realistic? Well, it is. Is it tough? Absolutely tough. Like it's crazy because having to juggle working and taking classes, submitting assignments. Yeah, it's not child's play because even people on full funding and full scholarship, they still talk about or complain about like how like stressful the workload can be, like trying to juggle both classes and like the lab work or like maybe the teaching assistantship right now. So yeah, so the short answer to that is that it's so tough without funding. Yeah, it's so tough without funding. It's so tough without that funding. So that's why I try to encourage people to try as much as possible to get funding, even if it's just 50% funding. So most times when you get like our funding, when you come to the US, you can complement that with other fundings. Like there are other fundings you can apply to as like students that people like tend to get as they progress in their programs.